Hi, once again, it's Tuesday night at 6:30, so it's time for What We're Reading. You can see I'm in the courtyard at the Amy Van Andel Branch. It's a little sticky out here, but it's still gorgeous. And I am excited tonight to talk to my good friend Kelaine Mish. And Kelaine works on the bookmobile, which I find fascinating anyway. And I know everybody is into talking about the bookmobile. And she also works at the East Grand Rapids branch. In
Mhm.
fact, I first met Kelaine in her interview to be librarian at the East Grand Rapids branch before the turn of the century. So, yes, we're older than we look because we look 12, right?
Yeah, so we're dating ourselves, aren't we?
So it is June. Someone's telling us good morning. Hello, someone's got it worse than me. Evening, Joe. Welcome. Um, it's June, and June is Pride Month, so we're going to talk about some Pride books. And Kelaine, when I first got to know her, was a teen librarian, so Kelaine has
Mhm.
some teen Pride books to talk about. Kelaine, what are you reading?
Yes. So recently, June 1st, the Lammies were announced. And I don't know if anybody, yeah, the Lammies. It's called the Lambda Book Review. And it's been around since I think, late 1980s. And it was started by a group of publishers and authors and readers for LGBTQIA plus interests, publishing
Mhm.
interests. And every year they announce, I think it's like, well, this year they said they had over 1,000 entries by
Wow, that's
three, yeah,
progress.
by 300 publishers. And
Okay.
there's a group of 60 people who read through them and then make their determinations of the best for the year. So
And that's
yeah,
Lammy's, Lammie.
Lammys, or
Okay.
apostrophe S, but its true name is the Lambda Awards.
Because people are immediately going to be
LAMDA.
Googling this, I know. So, and one of
Yeah,
my,
exactly. So
and
yeah,
one,
the LAMDA awards. And like I said, the 2021s just came out. And the first book that I was going to share with you, let's see if I can get this right. I have a problem with trying to, people might not
you
realize,
got
but
it. I
when,
can see. It's, hope you're listening.
I hope you're listening, yes, by Tom Ryan.
I'm Ryan.
And this one won for the teen mystery. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I adore mysteries. And when you asked me to come on, I'm like, that we are going to try and do some Pride books. I'm like, oh, perfect. It's a genre I love, and I was interested in finding out more about how, um, the gender identities, and I definitely try to be an ally to the kiddos who come in the library. I have family, friends who are part of the community, and I want to just say I myself am a heterosexual female who's married and has a son. So I'm hoping I use the correct terminologies and everything. If I mess up, please in the comments let me know. I always want to be more educated. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know
We're
it's
middle-aged white women, so
yeah,
sometimes we need some help.
exactly. We're uncultured in this new new community. So, but
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So with
So
I
what
hope
kind
you're
of
listening.
mystery is it? Does someone die in the first round? Is it
Yeah,
that kind of mystery, or more of a Nancy Drew kind of mystery? Who's meddling, or who's?
yeah. It's actually so there's a kidnapping.
Oh,
There's a young girl, yeah, who is the friend of the main character who goes missing. The two girls were out playing. I'm horrible with some details sometimes, but anyway, they were younger. I think around like 7 or 8 years old. I want to
oh,
say.
little girls.
Yeah,
Okay,
younger. Yeah, they were out.
that's
They might have been
scary.
up to 11, but I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. Well, 10 years ago. Yeah, yeah. So younger kids. And the one girl just disappears from the woods, and nobody knows what happened to her. So her best friend, now it's like 10 years later, so she's like 16, 17.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah, and so she has started a secret to everybody who knows her podcast. And it's all about true crime and being an armchair detective to try and solve some of these crimes. So in her podcast, she talks about other crimes that have happened, but suddenly another girl disappears from the town that they're from, and there's a lot of things that mirror her friend's disappearance as well. And so she is trying to kind of use her podcast to draw out the person who has taken these girls, and hence the "I hope you're listening," because she's hoping
Oh,
that that
okay.
whoever is done is actually listening to her podcast. And her podcast, no one knows who it is. She's managed to keep it secret from everybody, her friends, her family. But she
Don't recognize her voice?
no, apparently not. Nope, they don't recognize her voice. Apparently, she
I
has a
asked that
kind
because
of a
I'm totally gonna, plug myself in the
I was
middle of
gonna
your
say that's one of the reasons I mentioned it, because I'm like, oh, Penny has a podcast. This is
Yes, we
awesome.
now have an Amy Van Andel Library podcast to talk about what's going on here at the Amy Van Andel Library, and you can search for it on Spotify or iTunes or Pandora or Audible. Just search for Amy Van Andel Library. But we had a gentleman come into the library to use our podcasting room to make his own podcast, and I was showing him how it works, and he goes, "You're the one who did the podcast for the library, aren't you?" I mean, he had heard me once and just me
Ah,
introducing him to and he recognized my voice. So I'm surprised they didn't recognize her voice, but I shouldn't point
yeah,
out plot holes in your
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. But there you go. That might be one. I don't know though. Maybe maybe she does. She doesn't mention that she changes her voice, but I don't know.
You talk differently when you're on air.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yes,
you put on the
exactly.
radio
Yes,
voice.
put on your radio voice.
Yes.
Managed to do. But she has thousands of listeners, hundreds of thousands of listeners. Apparently, it's a really popular podcast.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes,
Yeah. I don't
so they
have
go
hundreds
back
of
and forth.
thousands of listeners.
What's that?
I don't have hundreds of thousands of listeners
Not yet. Not
for it.
yet.
Listen in.
After enough of these what we're readings and all that, you will get there, Penny.
Yeah, I want to have like an action figure like Nancy Pearl.
Oh, there you go. Yes, yes, shushing librarian,
No one
everybody.
knows who we're talking about. That Nancy Pearl is the only action figure librarian there is. She's actually in scale
Mm,
plastic. Okay, I'm so sorry, Kelaine. I keep interrupting you because it's so much fun to
oh,
talk to
that's
you.
okay.
So she has a podcast and she's
Mm-hmm.
sleuthing the current
Mm-hmm.
mystery of the vanished girl that mirrors her best friend when they were little.
Yes, exactly.
So
Sibby.
I'm imagining lots of twists and turns are happening.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting. They do it takes place, like modern day, and then they go back in time, and then yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a yeah. It kept me reading. It definitely was a page
It's
turner, and you want to try and find out what's going on, and it got me really interested too. This is like the second or third story that I've read where it's crowdsourcing true crime, armchair detectives
right.
kind of thing. So we were actually a little side note. I was in Chicago a year, well, in the before times before COVID, and there was
Leg.
actually a conference going on with these armchair detective style things. So I thought it was just very intriguing and fun, and the mystery, and yeah. So
And
I enjoyed it. It was a good
I'm
story.
going to ask you about the ending. Of course, I don't want you to give anything away because that's half the fun of these kind of mysteries. But can you tell me, were you personally satisfied with the ending?
I was,
Okay.
yes,
So
I
it was a
liked the ending. It
satisfying ending.
was a
That's
satisfying.
important with a mystery. Okay, great.
Yes, yes.
Well, that sounds great. Hold that one up one more time so we
Oh, yep.
remember what
Sorry.
it's called.
Let's see. Got to bring it back up
That's
again
the hard
here.
one to hold up. That's your ebook.
Yeah, it's on my thing here. Here we go. Let me bring it back up again. Sorry. Oh,
I'll try
come
not
on.
to make you do this again.
There
So
we
that
go.
one, the mystery close is I hope you're listening.
Yep. I hope you're listening, Tom Ryan. Yep.
Great.
And it's this one I got through. By the way, where you can get it, it's on Hoopla. We also have at KDL. We have regular print copies of it, audio, and regular Dead
I'm
Tree.
loving the Hoopla platform because you don't have to
You don't have to wait. I
wait.
know, isn't it wonderful? And I
Check
was
it
able
out.
to get it in both, yeah, listening to it and also reading it. So I had the best of both worlds when I was ready.
So what else do you have for me, Miss Kelaine?
So another one, this one is an absolute classic in the LGBTQ IA plus genres and
Aristotle and
community.
Dante discover the
Dante discover the secrets of the universe. Yes, and that is Benjamin Alir Sienz.
Gotcha.
Sienz, I think is how you pronounce it. It's yeah, Sienz. What was great about this is, well, first, this is one of the first LGBTQ books that I actually read. It was published in 2012. So, like I said, it's a classic. And at the time, it was very few books that actually, provided a window, mirror, door into the community. So this one's from I think it's, I say 2012. Um, Another author that people from that same genre are familiar with is David. Is it Levithan? I can never
Oh,
actually.
yeah. I
Yeah,
know who you
Levithan.
mean.
Yep.
We just
And
read things. We don't always
I
hear
know,
them.
right? We know where they are in the library. We know a little bit about them. Can we pronounce the names? Oh, heck no. but um, but yeah, so like this one and David's books were really like this kind of the start, the beginnings of the LGBTQ young adult genres and availability. This one, what attracted me to it is Lin Manuel Miranda.
Oh,
Sound
love
familiar?
him.
Yeah, of course Hamilton fame. He read the audio for this book.
Oh, well, that's exciting to all of his
So if
fans.
you love his voice, yes, is
Yes.
a good one. But this one was so this is a true kind of coming of age, self-realization. Two boys who, younger, so Aristotle or Ari and Dante, they meet at a swimming pool,
Oh,
and
okay.
they don't really appear to have a whole lot in common. Dante is an artist, if I Ari doesn't really kind of like know how to swim very well, and so um, they are both Mexican American, and they just have a special friendship. Well, actually, I don't think it's revealing too much. So, Ari actually saves Dante's life, and in the process gets hit by a car
Oh,
and ends up, yeah, in the hospital. And he's in, like, both legs are in casts. I want to say one of his arms. So it takes him quite a while to recover from it. And in the meantime, Dante has moved away. He's in Chicago. Um, but they've kept up a good like friendship and relationship during this time. And what I liked about it is, and especially even not quite as much maybe now, but back 10 years ago, again, in the showing my ancient life here, um, a lot of teen books, there was a really bad relationship between the parents and the kids, adversarial, or just a problem, or the parents just never appeared in any of the books. What I liked about this one is that it's a true crossover type of story. Adults can read it and enjoy it, teens can read it and get, and kind of like see a positive but yet still problematic relationship with their parents. In this one, Ari has a brother that no one ever talks about, that he just knows he's in jail, but he doesn't know what for. His dad was in the Vietnam War, but won't talk about it. So there's all of these emotional scenarios where, you're a strong male and you don't, you know, um, reveal
show any
your
emotion.
emotions. Yes, exactly. Um, and this one, the mothers get together and they talk about their sons, and it's they realize that the two sons have a stronger relationship than just a friendship. But Ari doesn't want to kind of reveal, or even to himself, that he is part of the LGBTQ community. He's still exploring um, relationships with girls and with boys, or not with boys, but mostly with girls, but realizes after a while that he's just not attracted to girls. He doesn't enjoy kissing them. He doesn't have a sexual, attraction with girls. Dante has already figured out that he, is definitely um,
A gay man.
yes, a gay man. And he yeah, it just the way the relationship is developed is just very very natural, very lyrical, and like I said, the relationships with the other members of the family and everything, it's just the whole thing, it's just a really beautiful um coming of age story.
Oh,
And yeah,
I will have to check that
ends
one
on
out.
a
I'm
good
going to
note.
lean
Yeah,
in and take it over from a mom perspective.
yeah.
We've got a display out in our lobby right now, Pride, and I found these picture books. Let's see if you
Oh,
can see
cool.
those. This is my
Sparkle
favorite.
boy.
This is
Oh,
Sparkle Boy by Leslie and Newman,
love
and the
the two.
other is Rainbow, a first book of Pride.
Nice.
Rainbow is nice. It's simply telling you what each color of the rainbow flag symbolizes, and
Oh,
why. In the
I
background,
don't even know. I don't even think I know that.
oh, in the background, there's nice. Well, I can't read the whole book, copyright, but you'll have to
Yeah.
check it out, Kelaine. But
Okay, I will.
but in the background of the pictures that talk about the colors are just families, all kinds of families,
Perfect.
just all kind. I mean, it's not pushing any agenda or anything. It's just here's a bunch of families, and we're telling what the colors of the flag mean. And ultimately, it just means to be proud of who you are
Hmm.
and to celebrate it. So I really liked the message, and it was very simple. But my favorite, I'm sorry, is Sparkle Boy because it's so adorable. And there's no mention of anything in Sparkle Boy other than brother and sister. Can you see them there?
Hmm. Just
His
playing in the
older
wind.
sister is Jessie, and the younger brother is Casey.
Very cool.
And we see their mom and their abuela. But throughout the whole thing, Casey wants what Jessie has. Because Jessie's, 13, 14-year-old girl, and she's got sparkly nail polish. And she's
Hmm.
got skirts that flare and sparkle. And Casey's little, he looks to be, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. And I want sparkly fingernails too. I want a
Yeah.
sparkly skirt. And at first, his older sister says, "You can't have those because you're a boy.
Oh.
Boys don't get those."
Hmm.
And you're like, poor Casey comes, he goes to his mom, "Mom, why can't I have a sparkly skirt?" And she's like, "Well, I don't see any reason why you can't." So she goes and gets one that his older sister has outgrown. "Try
Hmm.
this one." And he loves it. He wears his skirt and it goes through her fingernail polish and all this stuff. So he sparkles. And his abuela, his grandmother, is the one who actually gave him the name Sparkle Boy because she had sparkling bracelets on her arms. And the sister said, "I love your sparkly bracelets, abuela." And she goes, "Oh, you can have one." And of course, Casey wanted one too. But it was so sweet because Jesse's starting to get bent out of shape, the older dog. She's like, "You're not supposed to do that. This is my stuff, not your stuff." Boys just don't until Casey gets picked on for wearing that to a library. So also this hits my library vibe. So
Hmm.
to a library, and some of the kids are making fun of what Casey's wearing. So Jessie stands up for her brother, who she loves, and says,
Hmm.
"My brother can wear anything he wants." You know what I mean? And that kind of sometimes it takes self identification to click that everyone's different and allow them to be who they are. But sometimes, if you're more like everybody else, you can see it when someone you love
Yeah.
wants to be who they are.
Yep.
So, and letting them do that. So, I really love Sparkle Boy. So, check that one out. And
Definitely.
did
Oh,
you
I
have
will.
one more, Miss Kelaine? We could probably sneak one
I
in if you want. Oh, I
do.
have to
Just
say
like,
one thing though. Sparkle's
oh yeah.
boy inspired me to wear my hat.
There you go. Does he have a cool hat?
I want to wear my hat. No, that's what makes me sparkle and happy is
Oh, gotcha.
wearing hats. So I'm wearing my hat today because
Okay,
I want to.
perfect. Well, you're
Uh,
outside too, although yeah, I guess it's not a whole lot of sun though. It's more of a rain
it
scenario
was
there,
today
right?
when I was over at the farmer's market.
I was gonna say keeping the what is cottonwood, keeping the
Yeah,
cottonwood out of your hair.
squirrel.
So the other one I have here, oops, is Camp, and Camp is by L.C. Rosen. And I'm trying to remember, I should have written it down and I didn't. So there's another awards situation out there for people. There's the Stonewall Award is also an LGBTQ, and ALA. Oh, I should have brought it up.
That's the American Library Association.
Yes, sorry, American Library Association. They have a new group of award winners that's also for LGBTQ. And while I'm chatting, I might just look it up on my handy dandy iPad here to the side so I remember. But on Camp, it's again teen. The main character is 16, and for a few years when he was 12, he realized that yeah, he had a different gender identity, sexual orientation than how he was born or presented. And his parents, again, very caring, wanted to make sure that he had time to spend, well, afraid of bullying, obviously, wanted him to have a chance to mix and mingle and get to know other LGBTQIA plus kids. And so they found this camp, a 4-week camp in Connecticut, and it's only for kids who are exploring or have a different gender identity or sexual orientation. And this one, so Randall is the boy's name, and he's been going to camp for a couple of years. His best friends live in he shared a camp with a cabin with his two best friends. And he has trouble making friends kind of at home. Again, not a lot of people who are out at 16 and in his area. And so he's discovered or not discovered, he is determined um to change who he is. So what I loved about it is you'll find almost any teen book that you pick up, the kids are exploring who they are. Who do they represent in the community? Who if they were to pass away tomorrow, how would people remember them, right? And you I this was the first book I had picked up that kind of explored that in the LGBTQ community.
Oh,
Um,
really?
and yeah, so they talk about all the different um, what would be considered stereotypes.
Hmm.
He was the boy with the um, rainbow unicorn sheets, and goes in and is in theater, and yeah, he at musicals, goes out for all the musicals. Well, he decides that he wants to um, capture the interest of another boy who's at camp, who is very masculine, is into sports, but yet identifies as gay. And it he ended up trying to change his entire self to try and get this boy's attention. And you hear about that, like, again, a lot in teenage literature. um, and is that the best thing to do? Do you change yourself to try and attract somebody else? So I thought it was a really excellent way of kind of giving that whole mirror and window and door into the community, and allowing kids or teens, I shouldn't say kids, teens who identify in the community to kind of have a sense of, we're also exploring, and is it right to change who you are for somebody else? And yeah, I thought it was a really interesting, I liked it, that it was funny. I loved the characters who were at the camp, and yeah, the little
Love a
tagline
funny
says
book.
putting the out in the great outdoors.
Well, that's cute.
So yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. So the
Well,
three I found that and very different, the one being more of a mystery and the other being your classic coming of age, and then the other one more of a humor. So yeah,
underneath all our books today is the message to be yourself.
be yourself. Yep. And
Well, thanks,
all the
Kelaine, for
ways.
bringing your beautiful self to the show. It was very
Dude,
good to
thanks
have
for
you here
having me.
tonight.
Yeah,
Always good to see you.
you
Join
too.
us next Tuesday, please. I've got Angela and JC, so that's going to be an
Ooh,
exciting show. So everybody
yeah.
come back next Tuesday. We'll see you then. Keep reading, everybody.